This is Lifehacker, my indie role-playing game project, where you utilize the game's editor suite to manipulate the world. I've been working on this for about a year and a half now, and I finally reached a point where I can not only show off the progress, but also put up a public playtest demo. I've already posted about this project on my main channel, but to recap what I said in that one, Lifehacker is a top-down role-playing game primarily inspired by Undertale and Deltarune, the Mario RPG games, and One Shot. The game's story is about two best friends, named Renzo and Elias, who accidentally shatter an ancient artifact and absorb pieces of it, which grants them access to their world's level editor. Renzo has an existential meltdown upon realizing that his reality is simulated, while Elias, whom you play as, doesn't have that same realization and is just confused by Renzo's reaction. Renzo vows to free Elias and take them both into the real world by any means necessary. The player must then venture out to find the remaining pieces of that artifact before Renzo does. And that's all I left you guys with last time, but now I can actually show you the general gameplay. Note that none of this is final, in case that wasn't obvious, but there's still a lot of components that I'm planning to add. To begin with, standard gameplay features your typical top-down view of the world. You can walk around, jump, run, the usual. You can also interact with objects and characters in the environment. But the real meat of the game comes from pressing that little button in the bottom right there. Welcome to the editor. The central points of interest are the toolbar up top and the memory meter in the bottom left. In this demo, you have three tools that you can use, all centered around spatial manipulation, like moving, rotating, and changing the size of objects. The final game will have more tools than that, such as changing the properties of things, copying and pasting, so on and so forth, and you'll unlock these tools over the course of the game. The more you push something away from its default state, whether that's its position, or rotation or scale, or eventually other properties, the more memory that object will use. If you fill up the total memory meter, you're locked out of making further edits unless you undo your changes, reset the room, or otherwise bring things closer to their default state. All spatial actions are designed to remain confined to the world grid, so to speak, and objects maintain their physical collision when in the editor, so you can't phase objects through other objects or through walls. Although I am thinking of making collision a property you can change eventually. There is a bit more I could talk about with this demo specifically, but I don't want to spoil everything about it, so let's move on to what I have planned next. I want to continue developing this into a bigger demo, which I hope will more closely resemble what the real game will be like. I'm talking a full proper area to explore, items, enemies, more NPCs, and a little taste of the story. And speaking of enemies, the biggest thing missing from this demo is turn-based combat. When fighting enemies, you'll not only have the option to attack them physically, but also attack them using your editor tools. For example, the move tool. Instead of repositioning objects, you can grab enemies and fling them around, and different things will happen depending on the direction you throw them. And for regular physical attacks, I'm planning to make it a combo system, where you get up to 3 inputs per attack, with each input being a punch, a kick, or your weapon. And yes, I made your starting weapon a glowing cursor, I couldn't resist. Stringing together different hit types will result in different attacks being dished out, and can have differing effects on the enemy. But be careful, enemies can predict your moves if you're too repetitive, so you'll have to use different combos to keep them on their toes. Beyond working on the next demo, I also want to start writing the full story. I plan for the game to be 8 chapters long, with each chapter set in a unique location filled with distinct characters. For example, the first chapter will take place here, in the Trichroma Strip. This is a 100-mile-long street of endless entertainment blanketed in artificial night. And you've sensed that one of the shards from that artifact has landed here, so you need to find it, and fast. I mentioned this in my first video, but this game idea has been brewing in the back of my head for almost 8 years now. And the fact that I can actually put a playable demo in front of people is still it's unreal to me. So please, go download it right now on itch.io for PC, macOS, or Linux, and let me know what you think. I have a feedback channel on the project's Discord server where you can report bugs, leave suggestions, or otherwise share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next devlog, whenever that ends up being.